So David Brock, who is the attack dog of Bill and Hillary Clinton, who's notorious for smearing any and all opponents of Hillary Clinton, well, he's back again, and he's blaming millennials for Hillary Clinton's defeat, and is saying they simply failed their candidate. It's not the other way around, that Hillary Clinton failed millennials, it's that millennials failed Hillary Clinton. Well, Jeff Weaver, who is Bernie Sanders' former campaign manager, penned an article in The Hill shutting him down and saying not to buy his bullshit. He states, in his speech at the first major gathering of Democratic lawmakers since the election, Brock expressed his anger at the disaffected millennials who sat on their hands in the most consequential election of our lives. Brock's narrative that Hillary Clinton's loss is the fault of the millennial voters who supported the primary campaign of Senator Bernie Sanders is laughable. It's worth noting that Anna Greenberg, an informed political professional who followed Brock as a speaker at the State Innovation Exchange Conference, was quick to distance herself from his baseless analysis. But the Brockian delusion is dangerous because it gives the corporatist elements of the Democratic Party an excuse to avoid the hard questions that need to be asked in light of Trump's win. Now, we're witnessing the scapegoating of Sanders and his supporters. Most of us knew this predictably lazy attack would come. Somehow, Senator Sanders is to blame because he brought millions into the Democratic Party process by articulating a positive vision of economic, racial, environmental, and social justice. Brock himself stands to lose substantially if the Democratic Party engages in the type of introspection that is required. Brock ran a number of pro-Clinton organizations in the last campaign season, including a legally suspect super PAC, which is correct the record. All of these groups were funded by millions in donations from many of the Democratic Party's most generous donors. Brock's group spent almost a year and tons of Democratic donor cash engaged in a covert but well-documented smear campaign against Senator Sanders. Imagine if those millions wasted by Brock were used to register hundreds of thousands of new voters or to reach out to the Rust Belt working-class families. Just imagine. Yeah, and just to remind you all, David Brock is the individual that pledged to spend $1 million fighting against online opposition to Hillary Clinton. So he said that he would be stopping trolls by putting more trolls out into the internet. Okay, that sounds like a fantastic strategy, David. Now, this is the same guy who claimed that Bernie Sanders was racially insensitive because one of his ads wasn't diverse enough. Now, it's all ironic coming from David Brock because this is the guy who tried to smear Anita Hill during the 1990s and even wrote a book about her to smear her. So this is really just a repugnant, repulsive, disgusting individual who needs to go away because if David Brock has his way, nothing about the Democratic Party establishment will change. They'll still continue to take large contributions from special interests, and that's great because that helps out his super PACs that he runs. And he runs 2 Hillary Clinton super PACs as far as we know. And if all the donors go away, David Brock doesn't have a job anymore. So, I mean, David Brock has a vested interest in helping the Democratic Party to stay on this disastrous corporatist track. Because if they decide to switch and be more representative of their constituents and bring back in working class voters, well, what's David Brock going to do? He's greedy and his unethical tactics are just gross. They're just gross. And let me remind you that after he coordinated with Hillary Clinton because they exploited a legal loophole to have Hillary Clinton's campaign speak with Correct the Record, he alleged that Bernie Sanders was coordinating with super PACs that he didn't even have and literally filed ethics complaints against Bernie Sanders during the primary. And he did all of this and had the audacity to pen an open letter asking Bernie Sanders to stop attacking Hillary Clinton. It's just unbelievable. The hubris that this guy shows and just his lack of ethical standards is just, it's absurd. I don't know why he's a Democrat. Just go be in the Republican Party. You already were a Republican, and then you tried to switch to become a Democrat, and we don't want you here. Go away, David Brock. You are a disgusting human being, and you need to stop because your selfishness and your greed is helping to destroy the Democratic Party, and as a result, it's allowing Republicans to take over and destroy the country and the planet. So congratulations, David Brock. You pushed for a shitty candidate that ultimately lost to Donald Trump when Bernie Sanders would have won. So you have yourself to thank, but yet you want to blame the voters for failing the candidate. That's not the way this works, okay? We're not running for office. Hillary Clinton is running for office. So if she doesn't represent us and we don't come out to support her, it's because she failed us, not because we failed her. Hillary Clinton is not entitled to our votes, and that's one thing that you need to get through your head.
Support this podcast by joining the independent progressive media revolution today at humanistreport.com.